Hello, I'm Daisy of Dumaguete Info Net Service. In this video, we will be answering the most frequently asked questions about a voter's ID. Getting a Filipino voter's ID can be tricky if you do not know the basic knowledge of what it is and how it works. Here are the most frequently asked questions regarding a voter's ID in the Philippines. What is a voter's ID? The voter ID is a valid ID that is recognized by all government offices and banks for a person's identification purposes. Who are entitled to have a voter's ID? Only registered voters whose biometrics have been successfully captured digitally using COMELEC's Voters Registration Machine (VRM) or the Old Data Capture Machine (DCM) during application may have issued a voter's ID card. No biometrics, no ID. For more information on biometrics capture, please check the link in the video description. Is a voter ID card a requirement for voting? No. A voter ID card is not a requirement for a person to vote. However, if questioned by the Board of Election Inspectors (BEI) on election day, a voter may present his or her voter ID or any other valid ID. Why does ID generation take so long? The ID generation process includes a fingerprint matching procedure to filter out voters that have multiple records. This involves matching each new record with the existing 52 million records in the National Voter Database. Only after that will the generation of the ID take place. The length of the ID generation activity depends mainly on the volume of the record received for processing. I registered more than 4 years ago. Why is my ID not yet printed? A voter ID cannot be printed if the corresponding registration record has unreadable or poor quality of fingerprint impressions, or has dim, blurred, or improper cropped photographs. If this is the case, the concerned voter should be notified by the local COMELEC office to appear for recapturing of biometric data. It is also possible that your ID may have been inadvertently lost or misplaced during the initial implementation of the voter ID project. If this is the case, have your election officer submit a request for replacement to the COMELEC main office. Why is that according to the precinct finder, my ID has been already printed but my local COMELEC office says that my ID is not yet available? The precinct finder only indicates the date of ID printing at the COMELEC main office. It is possible that the printed IDs are still lined up for dispatch, especially if the date indicates is recent. This is the reason why we strongly recommend to call the local COMELEC office before going. Where and when can I claim my voter's ID? Although printed in the main office, voter IDs can only be claimed personally from your local COMELEC offices during regular office hours. The election officer or EO shall see to it that the rightful owner claims the ID. Can I authorize someone to claim my voter ID? Yes, as long as the voter issues a notarized authorization letter to the person who will claim his or her ID on his or her behalf. Is there a payment for claiming the voter ID? The voter ID is free of charge and is already laminated upon release. No fee shall be charged by the local COMELEC office to the voter. How can I replace my lost or torn voter ID? How much should I pay for the replacement? A registered voter may personally request with the local COMELEC office for the reprinting of lost or torn or defaced voter ID. The processing fee is currently placed at 100 pesos. The concerned voter is required to submit an affidavit of loss with his or her request for replacement. How can I apply for the correction of entries in my voter ID? Entries in the voter ID card are from the registration record as encoded by the local COMELEC office. Should there be any need for corrections of entries, notify your EO or election officer who shall give the further instructions. I need a voter ID for my passport, but I don't have a voter ID. What alternative document can I use? In lieu of the voter ID, a person may submit a voter certification which can be obtained from the local COMELEC office or the National Central File Division at the main office in Intramuros, Manila. The processing fee is 100 pesos. Can I have my photo, signature, and my voter ID updated? The COMELEC only allows updating of photos, signature, with applications for correction of entries due to change of civil status and legal change of name, and transfers of registration to another city or municipality. Can I submit a photo to be used on my voter's ID? No. Applicants for registration are required to submit themselves for live capture of biometrics data using the voter registration machine or VRM. The photograph from this live capture will be the one to be printed on the ID. Will a voter ID be released even when a voter's registration has already been cancelled or deleted? The IDs of voters whose registration records are already deleted due to multiple registrations or transfers of registration records due to the change of residence to another district, city, municipality, or cancelled by reason of death shall no longer be released. Will a voter ID be released even when a voter's registration is already deactivated? ID card shall only be issued to voters with active registration status. The ID card of a voter with deactivated status will not be released until such time that he applies for the reactivation of his or her registration record and the ERB approves his or her application. Will a voter ID be released even when there is a pending application for correction of entry? The ID cards of voters with pending applications for correction of entries in the registration record due to transfer of residence within the same district, city, municipality, or change of name and civil status by reason of marriage or other applicable court orders shall no longer be issued. The concerned voter shall issue new voter ID cards with the updated information. Here are the most frequently asked questions regarding a voter's ID in the Philippines. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, click the button now so you won't miss any of our upcoming videos. And if you have any comments and suggestions, feel free to leave a comment. Once again, I am Daisy of Dumaguete Info Net Service. See you in our next videos.